what's a normal operation look like from getting that boat, and then where do the boats go? Like where do you take them and all that kind of stuff? How's it normally supposed to go?
You want me to jump in here, Scott? Or you want to? Okay. So, I mean, essentially, we're the first line typically. Sometimes they will go over to the Geico dispatching center, which is Scott's side of the operation. Most of the time, it comes directly to our phone number here at our local dispatch. So we answer our phones live 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We've invested a lot of time and money in that digital infrastructure, voice over IP phones, apps, you name it. There is never a chance or an opportunity for that phone not to be answered by a live local human being. So the call comes in, my dispatchers will take the call. Soon as somebody says they need help, they will immediately start the triage, the big five. Is everybody safe? What's going on? Is the boat anchored? They'll tell us the boat sunk at such and such. Okay. Who is the insurer? Where is the boat? They start gathering all the information. Say it's a 25-foot Grady White. It's insured by insurance company XYZ. Not a problem. They will start rolling our guys, at least one person in a boat to get up there and get eyes on, assuming it's not emergent. If someone calls and says, I'm taking on water now, we dispense with the questions and we send every asset we've got. But for the sake of this, we'll say it's already sunk at the dock.
Yeah.
Someone will get headed in that direction. We will dispatch at least one vessel and one person out there. In the meantime, my dispatchers will start asking for questions, so we know what we're going to encounter when we get there. Because at this point, we really want to get it up out of the water. Environmental pollutants are a problem. Bringing down the dock, bringing down the pilings, all of that becomes a concern. We'll get the photos. Typically, they come to me. I'm the guy that oversees everything. I'll see a 25-foot Grady still attached to the dock, partially flipped over. So now I start working my end. I have someone headed up there in a boat. He's going to start getting the marina prepped for what's coming. Somebody else will grab a fully stocked salvage trailer that has all of our lift bags, our pumps, our come-alongs, our chains, our you name it, it comes up in that trailer. Probably send one or at least one more boat up there, someone with the trailer to move up. All of our guys are certified to dive. We dive from the boat. They'll get up there. In the meantime, we've talked to the insurance company. Depending on who the insurer is, the insurance company, again, a good marine insurer will have a 24-hour claims line. They've already gotten someone on the line. They've established the first notice of claim. If we have time, we like to talk to that adjuster, determine what the cost is going to be ahead of time. It's a very easy and simple way to maintain trust with the insurers, maintain trust with the customer. Everybody knows what they're getting into, so there's no surprises later. We establish that. That's a very simple process. Typically, an email comes back to us. This is what we've agreed to. My guys will get there depending on the situation. We'll talk about the Grady. I'll have divers in the water. They're attaching lift bags. The boat is lifted up to the surface. We pump the boat out, make sure it's dry, make sure it's not taking on any other water, immediately to a haul out for the vessel. Because remember what I mentioned earlier, you do have a duty to preserve the value of the property. It is absolutely imperative that within that first 24 hours, and I'm sure you know this, we have a flush and pickle of the engines. That is really your only chance to maintain the integrity of those engines and make sure they survive. Because after 24 hours, corrosion starts taking over and you might as well throw them in the trash. We've actually had people, when we did not have the ability for a haul out, depending on where the boat was, how the boat was situated, we will actually leave the boat in the water sometimes until the next morning because it's much safer sitting where it is, knowing we can get a haul out and service the next day. And that's very strange to people when we say we're not going to move this until tomorrow. They're very emotional. Their boat's sunk. It needs to come out right now, but we have to convince them that's not always the best choice. Get the boat out of the water, regardless of whether or not it's going to be a constructive total loss later down the road. We want to make sure that engine is flushed and pickled, because even if it is totaled and you receive a check for the boat, that boat is going somewhere else. It's going to a Copar, Cooper Capital, someone of that nature, who is then going to auction or wholesale that boat. The more value you can retain, the more money they're going to get for it, the more money the insurance company gets back to offset your claim. Our aim is always to make it as stress-free and easy as possible. People hear the word salvage, and I've spent over 25 years with this. It is not the scary, life-altering, we're going to take your vessel stories you have read about in the boating rags. I can assure you, as someone who runs one of these companies with 6 towboats, and my 13-year-old kid has like 4 Boston Whalers, I have more boats than I know what to do with. I don't want your boat. I don't need your boat. We want to try and make this very easy. We want the customer experience to be excellent so that next time they have an emergency, they're not afraid to call us, because next time they have an emergency, there could be a lot more on the line than just a boat. We want them
Mm-hmm.
to have trust in us and to call us. We will educate them about what they're going to experience with their insurance company. We hand over our business card and tell them if they have any questions, call us. We deal with this each and every day. We're happy to walk you through this, but we will take the steps necessary, A, to recover the boat, B, to make them comfortable in the situation, and C, to help them understand the parts of the policy that we see every day that they may only see once in a lifetime, so that they remain boaters. One of our biggest fears is that if someone loses a boat, they're out of boating. That is
Mm-hmm.
a loss of a lifestyle. That's a loss of something we all love. And it's a loss of a
Yeah.
potential customer down the road with everything that we do, not just for us, but the marinas, the chandleries, the repair yards. We want to make this as easy as possible so they remain boaters, they remain comfortable on the water, and we can maintain our reputation for being honest and among the best in the business.
Yep. And just,
Right.
I was going to say the two pipelines that Phil is really talking about is salvage and wreck removal. Those are your destinations. Salvage basically means there's enough value left in the boat to be repaired, meaning the policy coverage will take care of repairs and not exceed it. And I know Phil can get a little bit better on this than I can. But wreck removal is exactly what it means. The cost to repair is exceeding the value of that policy. It makes no sense. I've seen people after hurricanes and the boat looks fine and it's on a yard or something like that for sale. And people will go, oh, well, why did they call that a CTL or a constructive total loss? The reality is that boat was probably submerged all the way up to the deck top, and
Mm-hmm.
to repair all the soft goods, all the wiring, get those engines back in order, it's going to be prohibitively expensive. And that's where people will Copar and all these other firms will auction them off to the, not for the faint of heart, mind you, but it's really those two pathways, and having that help. What Phil just said is most of it's being done without the owner having to do much other than monitor and learn and understand and work with their insurance company to know what's happening. But the hard work, it's being done by the salvage and wreck removal teams, the technical expertise. Can you get a land crane a mile back into the bayou? All these
Mm-hmm.
highly, it's almost like a Rube Goldberg kind of like contraption. How do we get this boat into one of those salvage or wreck removal and get that boat owner whole again as quickly as possible?
Hey there, sorry to take you away from the video, but real quick, did you know that on average a boat owner will spend between $1,000 and $5,000 a year just on servicing their engine? And you could actually pocket and save a lot of that money if you would just do the service yourself. It might seem like a daunting task, but I guarantee you virtually everyone can do it with our guidance and the Boaters program. This is just one skill that you could learn inside the program because we have hundreds of other videos teaching you all kinds of boating skills, as well as a weekly live stream where we have questions and answers with me, as well as a chat feature where you can send videos and pictures, ask all kinds of questions, or look for some advice or some guidance on a project that you're doing on your boat. You can join the program by hitting the first link in the description, clicking join, or visiting bornagainboating.com. Now back to the video.